Today is known as Valentine's Day, although it's not a Jewish holiday. But the idea of love and expressing love to all the people in your life that you love is of utmost importance. I always love to quote Rabbi Esther Youngreis, who made a very insightful and profound remark when she said that on 9/11, it was the first time in human history that thousands of people were facing death within a few minutes. Within the next half hour they were going to die. They knew they were going to die. And they had a few minutes to make a phone call. And we have, for the first time in history, the recorded messages of thousands of people from airplanes, from the burning buildings of the Twin Towers, who made their last phone calls knowing that they have maybe 15 minutes, a half hour left on this earth. And she said it's amazing that on every single recorded message from all the thousands of people who called, they all said the same three words over and over and over again. And what are those words? I love you, I love you, I love you. They called their parents, they called their husbands, their wives, their children, their brothers, their sisters, and they all said the same three words. And she said it's amazing that there's not one recorded call from the thousands of people on 9/11 who were in the burning buildings who called their lawyer or their accountant or their stockbroker, listen, make one more trade for me. So she said, if when you have 30 minutes to live, you know that what's the essence of life? Love, the people you love in your life. So now that you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, why not live every day? Well, if you know what that's the main purpose of life, don't wait till the last 30 minutes to say I love you. Say I love you today. So obviously Valentine's Day is not just for one day, it's every day of the year. Love, ahava. And in the opening words of this parsha, it says, V'ata tetzaveh, you shall command the Jewish people, and they should bring to you olive oil. But then it says, you should communicate to your brother Aharon that he should light the menorah. But notice the difference. When it comes to the Jewish people, you should command them to bring the olive oil. When it comes to your brother, it doesn't say you should command your brother Aharon to bring the olive oil. It says, V'ata hakrev elecha. Draw close to you your brother Aaron from amongst the Jewish people, and that he should light the menorah. So there's two ways to communicate. One way to communicate is you command people, you tell people what to do. Another way is you just draw them closer, and automatically they understand what they need to do. And that's the greatest way to communicate through your actions, through your deeds. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Your actions, someone once said, I can't hear what you're saying. I can't hear what it goes like this. Your actions speak so loud that I can't hear what you're saying. It's not about what you say to people, what you communicate to people verbally. It's your actions that show the love, whether it's to your children or to your spouse. Yes, it's important to say I love you, not just on Valentine's Day, but every day. But more important than saying I love you is drawing them close and showing them that you love them. And that leaves the most important and everlasting impression. There's many stories, but one that comes to mind is there was a certain wealthy man who was completely irreligious. But he supported yeshivot. He gave a lot of money to Torah institutions. And someone said to him, if you're not religious, you obviously don't believe in Judaism or in God, you're a secular person, why do you give so much money to Torah institutions? And he said, as a child I studied in the yeshiva of the Chafetz Chaim, Rabbi Israel Meir Radin, and I was a terrible student, I was rebellious, I was always getting into trouble. And he said one day the Chafetz Chaim called me into his office and said, I'm sorry, we can't keep you in the yeshiva anymore. You're not keeping Shabbos, you're not coming to shul, to minyan, you're not putting on tefillin. We can't keep you here, we have to send you home. He said, I was in the dormitory, and I was being kicked out. And then the Chafetz Chaim, right after he expelled me from the school, says, where are you going to sleep tonight? He said, I don't know. He says, come be my guest in my house. He said, he took me home, served me a beautiful dinner, then he took me to a room, gave me a bed, and I went to sleep. In the middle of the night, it was a cold night in Radin, Poland, and I was like cold under my blanket. All of a sudden, the door opens, and the Chafetz Chaim comes in to check on me. And he sees that I'm like cold. And he takes off his coat and he puts it over me to make me warm. And he said, till today, 40 years later, 50 years later, I could feel the warmth of that blanket the coat being put over me in the middle of the night. And he said, that's why even though I don't necessarily believe in God, I don't practice Judaism, but I always have warmth and love for Torah institutions because I remember that act of the Chafetz Chaim when he covered me with his coat. Sometimes all the Torah in the world doesn't penetrate a person, but one act of love, of kindness, could open up his heart and his mind. And that's the idea of Valentine's Day. It's a non-Jewish holiday because every day is Valentine's Day. Every day we have to say to the people in our lives, we love you, don't wait till it's too late. But more importantly, we have to show it in our actions every single day.